The Iron Claw is an A24 film written and directed by Sean Durkin. The film focuses on the iconic Von Erich family, played by the likes of Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White. The Von Erichs had great success in the ring, but this film centralizes around the Von Erich curse, a curse that ensured bad things would happen to the Von Erich family. The Iron Claw successfully utilizes dialogue and pacing to make the audience feel like a part of the family, then allows us to analyze the Von Erich curse for what it truly is. Through this highly tragic cautionary tale, we are left to contemplate the nature of luck and the crucial role of parental leadership. The Iron Claw centralizes on Kevin Von Erich, the oldest Von Erich son, who is the first of four to get in the ring. One of the first things he talks about is the Von Erich curse, as he fears the bad things that are supposedly going to happen. The subject of curses is categorized under luck and chance, which is the focal point of this film. While uncontrollable events can happen to anyone, we make most of our own luck with how we choose to raise our families. The Von Erichs embody the classic upbringing of a family. Kevin and his brothers are taught that toughness is the only way to prevail against adversity. This upbringing leads the Von Erich brothers to success in wrestling, as their father expects greatness from them. And, of course, the Von Erichs became one of the biggest wrestling families of all time. Their toughness leads them to success in the ring, but this toughness can create unbeatable adversity within the mind. Parents are supposed to teach their children to deal with stress, anxiety, and depression. However, the Von Erichs place this parental task on the brothers, which ultimately leads to a collective lack of emotional leadership. The brothers individually face their mental anguish in different ways, and most of them lead to a catastrophic result. The brotherly love and bond are not enough to supplement the lack of emotional guidance. As you can see, this is much more than a wrestling movie. But the wrestling is great. And I'm not saying wrestling, I'm saying wrestling. The Iron Claw presents some of the best wrestling seen in any film. The cinematography in matches is up close and personal, which brings an engaging experience that a wrestling show simply doesn't provide. The audio also masterfully portrays the pain of a hard-hitting move, alongside the adrenaline that the crowd can bring. We can feel the roar of the Dallas Sportatorium as if we're in the match itself. All of that combined perfectly portrays the charm, flair, and excitement that comes with pro wrestling. In addition, the film covers a lot of ground. These types of films typically run into challenges with pacing, but that wasn't an issue with the Iron Claw. This film successfully establishes each member of the family while holistically telling their story. We watch relationships grow and decay throughout the rise and fall of the family. The only two criticisms I have for this film ultimately cancel each other out. I've briefly praised the pacing, but there are also aspects of the pacing that can be nitpicked. The film's first act exemplifies stellar pacing, but the pacing seems to deteriorate throughout the film. As previously stated, a lot of time is covered in this film. Pacing issues are merely inevitable with films that deal with a wide breadth of time. It's not anything that worsens the condition of the film, but for the sake of a review, it's worth mentioning. The second criticism is the absence of Chris Von Erich, who was completely excluded from the Iron Claw. For a film going for such realism, it's quite shocking that a whole member of the family was completely left out of the story. This is actually a common practice in filmmaking, and Chris Von Erich's inclusion may have caused the pacing to hinder the film. Ultimately, The Iron Claw is an extremely well written and executed film. In a society that has normalized mental health awareness, the message of the film stands tall. There is true danger in high expectations if no emotional leadership is provided.